Good evening and welcome back to LTV News. We're thrilled to be back with you as the spring semester kicks into full gear. We'll have plenty of updates happening on and off campus, so stay with us for the latest updates and stories bringing cheer and energy to our LaSallian community.
And for all the latest updates beyond campus, we have more on LaSalle's recent recognition, a look back on Philly's winter storm at the zoo, plus some interesting stories taking place around the globe.
Welcome to LTV News, your source for everything happening from 20th and Olney to the heart of Philadelphia and beyond. I'm Mike Adradis, and I'm thrilled to be back as your co-host for another episode. We have a great lineup of stories from LaSalle, our city, and around the world, and I'm excited to jump into all the updates we have for you tonight.
And I'm Destano Tiganov, and you're watching LTV News, LaSalle's TV's go-to source for all things LaSalle, Philadelphia, and the world. We've got a lot to cover in the next half hour, so stick around for some interesting, fun stories you won't want to miss. Let's jump right in.
LaSalle University is starting 2026 with national recognition as it receives the Carnegie Elective Classification for Community Engagement. This honor is given to only 277 schools across the country and highlights strong connections between students, faculty, and local communities. University leaders say this award shows how classroom learning connects to real-world experience and meaningful service. From Germantown to Logan to Worcester and beyond, LaSalle continues to serve Philadelphia with purpose and heart. Officials call this a motivation to keep growing and serving. This classification will remain active until 2032, providing that community engagement is not just a goal. It is a mission for every explorer here on campus.
LaSalle is making national headlines as it earns a new title, the Comeback College. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education, this recognition highlights the university's strong growth and renewed momentum. Leaders point to expanded sports programs, personalized recruitment, modernized enrollment systems, and new academic offerings as key drivers of success. New residence halls, student support hubs, and a focus on making students feel seen and valued are also making a difference. Officials say small details done well are leading to big results. From athletics to academics, LaSalle is proving that comebacks are built on commitment, community, and vision. Today we are highlighting an inspiring student success story from right here at LaSalle University. Katie McGovern from the class of 26 is building confidence connections and a future in bioengineering. Starting as a biology major, Katie took advantage of research opportunities and supportive mentors. She applied to the Accelerated Bachelor's to Master's program in partnership with the University of Pennsylvania, a goal that once felt out of reach. With the support of the LaSalle community, she pushed her limits and succeeded. Her story shows how explorers are prepared to dream big, connect deeply, and lead with confidence into the future.
LaSalle University is also investing in the future of science and technology through a new grant from the Triumph Charitable Foundation. This funding will support STEM students through peer tutoring scholarships and a new event called LaSalle STEM Day. University leaders say the goal is to create a strong ecosystem of support that helps students succeed in the classroom and beyond. The program will also boost career confidence through workshops and research showcases. With over 300 STEM majors on campus, this grant helps students feel connected, valued, and prepared for tomorrow. From cybersecurity to artificial intelligence, LaSalle continues to lead with purpose and opportunity. LaSalle University continues its tradition of service during the annual MLK Day of Service. Students, faculty, and staff came together to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, their action and community impact. Despite cold weather, explorers volunteered across Philadelphia. They cleaned up and repainted spaces at Third Eternal Baptist Church, organized rooms and created posters at Stetton Recreation Center, cleared snow at Kemble Park, and assembled kindness kits on campus for people experiencing homelessness. This day of service showcases the heart of LaSalle, reminding us that leadership begins with serving others. That's all for our LaSalle stories today, but please don't go anywhere right after this break. We'll be back with Philadelphia stories. Stay tuned.
When a child in your life requires intensive care, their health fragile, their condition complex, certified acute care pediatric and neonatal nurse practitioners will give you the information and support you need to make the best decisions for your child, while providing the critical care your child needs. Trained to diagnose and manage life-threatening conditions and emergencies, they are trained to make a difference. Learn why at certifiednurses.org.
We put our trust in professionals with years of training to help us lead healthy lives. We rely on them to do their jobs with diligence and dedication, because if they don't, our lives are on the line. Clean water is essential to survive. 98% of fresh water lies underground, which must be accessed by trained groundwater professionals. One trained groundwater professional can ensure the health of an entire community. Don't take clean water for granted. Learn how to protect our water at groundwater.okstate.edu.
Children exposed to poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children with good air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this, providing filtration technology to school children with poor air quality through the Clean Air for Kids program, helping kids to breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, removing barriers to learning, reducing sick days, and increasing test scores. This is all key to environmental and climate justice. Find out how you can help at iqairfoundation.org.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Welcome back. The Philadelphia Phillies brought big league excitement to Germantown last week as they surprised a school filled with young readers. Students were shocked and thrilled when players and staff walked in to celebrate their love of books and learning. The visit highlighted the importance of literacy, confidence, and dreaming big. Kids received books, met their heroes, and heard encouraging messages about education and hard work. Teachers say the moment created lasting memories and motivation. The Phillies continue to show that their impact goes far beyond the baseball field, providing that community connections can inspire the next generation of leaders.
As winter storms move into the region, the Philadelphia Zoo is taking extra steps to keep the animals safe and comfortable. Cold-loving species like snow leopards are thriving, while reptiles and tropical animals stay warm under heat lamps. Zoo staff are reviewing each animal's unique needs and preparing ahead of severe weather. Veterinarians are also reminding pet owners at home to watch for salted sidewalks and limit time outside. Jackets and short walks are recommended for dogs with short fur. Experts say a simple rule applies this winter. If you are cold, your pet is probably cold too.
Philadelphia is mourning the loss of a local icon following the death of Frank Oliveri Sr. The former longtime owner of Pat's King Estates has passed away at the age of 87. Oliveri helped carry on his family legacy at the famous South Philly landmark for decades. He started working at the shop in the 1950s and later became co-owner. His son now runs the business and honored his father with a steak made his way. Friends and families remember him for his dedication, hard work, and love for his community. A viewing and memorial service will be held later this week.
Philadelphia is at the center of a controversy after slavery exhibits at the president's house were removed following a federal directive. The displays honored the lives of 9 enslaved people held there during George Washington's presidency. Crews began taking down panels Thursday, sparking strong reactions from community leaders and advocates. City officials say the removal attempts to erase painful but important history. Pennsylvania leaders are condemning the decision, and the city has filed a lawsuit to restore the exhibits. Advocacy groups say action is coming and promise to fight for historical truth. This developing story continues to raise questions about how America remembers its past.
That's it for Philadelphia Stories, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with World Stories.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
What makes essential workers essential?
We keep where you work and live clean and safe.
We harvest fresh produce for your families to eat.
We help you heal when you're sick.
Essential workers help our nation run. You're in every corner of our country and come from all over the globe. I'm Marty Walsh. The Wage and Hour Division at the Department of Labor helps ensure you receive the essential protections you deserve. Visit our website or call 866-4US-WAGE.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Labor.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
Welcome back. A Pokemon card game event in Japan has been canceled after sparking international backlash. The event was planned at the Yasukuni Shrine, a shrine that honors Japanese war dead, including convicted war criminals. The decision drew strong criticism, especially from China, where officials called the location insensitive and harmful. The Pokemon company apologized, saying the event should not have been approved and was posted without proper review. Organizers quickly canceled the event and promised to strengthen their approval process. The incident comes during rising tensions between China and Japan, highlighting how entertainment events can quickly become global controversies. We've heard a lot about ICE and the distress occurring throughout the country. Here, with a look at how ICE is affecting our health, is segment producer Adia Brown with Public Health and Policy.
No one deserves to face unnecessary torture and not have their basic human rights met. Yet these rights are currently being impeded on as the government conducts ICE raids in American communities and individuals are sent to detention centers. Over 73,000 people sit in detention centers across the United States with exposures to alarming conditions like chronic food shortages, consuming spoiled food, lack of hygienic practices, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and lack of medical care. Many individuals in detention centers have contracted illnesses or died from conditions in these facilities. These detention centers can become hot spots for disease and the spread of diseases without access to medical care and proper preventative measures. The mental health of individuals is affected, as many have limited access to their family members and legal counsel. The trauma they face in detention centers can lead to anxiety, suicidal ideation, depression, and chronic stress. It is unlawful for individuals to be exposed to conditions as it violates their human rights. When human rights are not respected, it becomes a public health crisis. As ICE continuously affects individuals in surrounding communities, it can take a toll on individuals' emotional and mental health. For college students, their surrounding community or family members may be affected by the ICE raids. Students may experience emotional trauma, behavior issues, and affected academic performance, anxiety, depression, chronic stress, and PTSD. For students affected by ICE, the UndocuHealth National Mental Health Directory provides free access to therapists, coping mechanisms, and community groups by state and language. The Student Counseling Center and Wellness Center is open for students to discuss and access resources. The university provides a list of your rights if you encounter law enforcement. It is located in the My LaSalle portal under Resources. This has been Public Health and Policy.
Thank you, Adia, for your report. We look forward to seeing your next segment.
Thousands of protesters took to the streets in Minneapolis, and students across the United States staged walkouts Friday, demanding the removal of federal immigration agents following the failed shootings of 2 citizens. Federal officers sent by President Trump patrolled the city in tactical gear at 5 times the size of the local police department. Rock star Bruce Springsteen supported the protests with a benefit concert. Protests spread to over 46 states, with students, teachers, and families participating. Critics call the operation a federal overreach, and many fear public safety is at risk. The Minneapolis FBI field office was removed, and ICE now has broader powers to arrest without a warrant. Federal and local leaders continue to debate next steps.
There has been more talk concerning a U.S. government shutdown. Exploring Politics producer Peter Rapp is here to tell us what it all means.
As of Friday, January 30th, the U.S. government has seemingly managed to avoid another shutdown as Congress Democrats issued demands for new restrictions on federal immigration raids as protests against ICE continue to grow across the country following the killing of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis last week. The government seemed bound for at least a partial shutdown until Democrats managed to strike a deal separating DHS funding from the rest of the government, allocating funds to DHS for 2 weeks as the debate around restrictions on the agency rage on. Funds for the rest of the government are relatively set in stone, with agreed-upon allocations established for the rest of the fiscal year. This deal is set to ensure that regardless of what restrictions or budget debates may occur with DHS and ICE, the government will not be forced to fully shut down while waiting for a final agreement to be reached. A partial or full government shutdown is still possible going into the weekend should Congress, Democrats or Republicans take new issue with the established deal. But otherwise, it seems that the federal government will remain in full operation as Congress continues to debate restrictions on ICE and the DHS. So what might these restrictions look like? Well, that depends on the events of the next 2 weeks. ICE faces numerous lawsuits from civil rights groups over their violations of Fourth Amendment rights after ICE has consistently entered private residences without a warrant. In addition, ICE's suppression of protests and frequent clashes with civilians raises questions about the purpose of the agency and their jurisdiction. It is possible that these restrictions from Congress could purely be fiscal. By cutting ICE's budget, they would be effectively limiting the number of agents that ICE could keep on payroll and how well they could be armed. But it is also possible that these restrictions could go deeper, regulating the agency's protocol and jurisdiction. This could possibly include an increase to mandatory training for ICE agents, as they are currently only required to receive 47 days of training. That's about 8 weeks, which is well below the standard for federal law enforcement. It is impossible to know exactly what these restrictions might look like, or if we will see them put in place at all. But as bipartisan anger grows against ICE's operations in cities across the country, it would be outlandish if Congress were to allow ICE and the DHS to continue operating as they have been.
Thank you, Peter, for joining our show with the latest political news. In Rome, Italy, an angel in a church has been restored to resemble Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, sparking an investigation by the Culture Ministry. The painting is located in the Basilica of St. Lawrence in Lucina and was originally a generic cherub. The restoration followed water damage and was carried out by the original artist, Bruno Valenti, who denied any political motive. Opposition politicians warn art must not be used for propaganda. Meloni herself posted a picture on social media, laughing and saying that she does not look like an angel. The incident has sparked debate about artistic license and politics in Italy and culture. Officials say they will decide what steps to take after inspection.
A building exploded in Bandar Abbas, Iran on Saturday after a gas leak. Local authorities report at least 1 person is confirmed dead and 14 more injured. Rescue teams rushed to the scene. Fire department officials say the explosion caused significant damage to the structure and nearby areas. Emergency crews continued search and rescue operations as authorities investigate the cause. The incident has sparked concern among residents who fear additional leaks. Local officials urge caution and promise safety measures to prevent further accidents. The tragic event highlights infrastructure risks in the region and has prompted national attention on building safety and emergency response plans.
That's all we have for today's episode. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Mike Adredas.
And I'm just Salle. It's been a great episode today. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, take care.